Hey there everybody, welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, we are going to be painting up the Toska warband for Magical Girl Assault, which is one half of one of the starter sets, the La Generalia versus Toska starter set. So if you're unfamiliar with Magical Girl Assault, it is an indie skirmish tabletop wargame that is made by Marcin Atelier Studio. It's kind of a one-man show. He has some contractors that help him out, but Heriberto Valle, who actually has a fairly extensive portfolio in being a part of other projects, but this is one of his first games that was his own, where he designed all of the miniatures, wrote all of the rules, and it's published by Ignition Core Games out of Texas, which is an indie game publisher. If you're not familiar with them, they have lots of really cool anime-inspired games in their portfolio. So if you like anime and you like tabletop wargaming, definitely give them a look. I guarantee you, whether you like fantasy, mecha, or weird sort of magical girl fantasy military blend that is Magical Girl Assault, they will have something for you. But without further ado, let's actually crack on with this painting video, and let's get this underway. Now, before we get into the painting proper, I did want to spend a moment and talk to you guys about some new priming tools that I picked up from the Gunpla community, and that is called Surfacer, which all this is, it's primer, lacquer primer, which means you have to use an airbrush with it, but it also has micro filler particles in it. So if you had to sand a surface, or if there were small little surface irregularities in your miniature during the prep process, these will actually help fill in those areas and make it less noticeable. The other nice thing with lacquers is that they spray incredibly easily at very low pressure through your airbrush. So if you're struggling to prime your miniatures with your airbrush using, standard primer, like this Vallejo surface primer can be a little difficult to get to spray, you might want to consider taking a look at some lacquer products. So I was able to do my Zenthal, so I used the black from Alclad as my base, and then my 45-degree angle, I did this gray from Mr. Hobby. And then something really cool. So this is actually an acrylic paint from Kaleido. People might be familiar with Galeri, the relatively new airbrush company. This is their relatively new paint line. And even though it's acrylic, they designed it to spray like a lacquer. So I use this for my highest points of light on the Zenithal. And amazingly, even for white, this sprayed perfectly. There were no clogs. There was no tip dry on my brush. I was able to spray at a super low PSI, and the coverage is absolutely incredible. Now, with that, dare I say, perfect Zenithal prime down on all of the miniatures, it would be a crime to not use some contrast style paints so that we can kind of very quickly establish how this color scheme is going to look and decide how we want to pivot from there. So we're going to use 11 Quickgen paints from AK, and we're going to put these down on the miniatures very, very quickly. So first up, we've got human flesh, and we're going to use a coat of this on all of the areas of exposed skin. So there's the face, the neck. Some of the bodysuits actually have cutouts in the back, so make sure you hit those as well. Now, speaking of the bodysuits, we're going to actually hit those with field gray. And don't worry about, because there's lots of smooth kind of sections. Don't worry about whether or not it looks a little splotchy. We're going to be correcting all of that after we get all of these down. So moving on, we're going to use British uniform as the base for all of the hair. Just throwing it out there right now, I'm painting all of the hair. Everybody's going to be dirty blonde. So in this warband, we're just using the one color for the base of the hair. Now moving on, we're going to use Russian blue as an accent color on all of the little, I guess you call them handkerchiefs, that all of the models have, as well as there's like a band on their left bicep that we're going to go ahead and use as well. And I'm also going to do Toska's scarf in this color. Now for Russian uniform, we're going to hit Toska's jacket that she has tied off around her waist, as well as the colors of the uniforms on all of the sisters. Now we're going to use leather on all of the boots and very quickly pivot to orange-brown, which we're going to use to color the fur on our alcoholic teddy bear. Then moving on, we've got blue-black for all of the guns as well as the webbing. Camel brown for Toska's pants. Dark steel for all of the van braces, and then it wouldn't be a Soviet fighting force without a little bit of red, so we're going to go ahead and use infernal red on the rest of the hard armor. Alright, so now that we've got all of the Quickgen paints down on the miniature, there are some areas where it may have dried a little splotchy, and we need to go in with some standard acrylic paints and kind of smooth those areas out. So I'll show you the process on the first area, which is going to be the field gray bodysuits. And now to correct those areas, we're going to turn to the Army Painter Field Growl Triad. So they give you a shadow color, a midtone, and a highlight that are all field gray. And we can use those to smooth out the, splotchy areas on the raised surfaces. And then we can thin out our original Quickgen field gray paint with a little bit of Pro Acryl glaze and wash medium. And we can go ahead and apply that as an all-over filter to help unify the 4 different colors of field gray that we now have on the bodysuit. And it is a very similar process for the rest of the areas that need more definition. So for the hair, for Toska's pants, for the blue on her scarf in particular, for the green of her jacket is a really nice kind of flat area where you might have had some pulling. The guns, as well as all of that red hard armor. Now, there's really only a couple more things that the ladies in the warband need to be complete. So first up, for all of that hard red armor, it could use a little bit of shading. So now I am turning to Goon's Grime from Villainy Inc. It is an enamel wash product. So it's very easy to remove. If you accidentally use too much or get some pulling, you could just use a little bit of mineral spirits on a Q-tip to wipe it away. But we're just going to apply that for some shading on all of that red hard armor. Since it has some really nice defined recesses, the capillary action will suck the wash right down in there and give you some really nice brown shading on all of those red areas. And the last detail for Toska is the exhaust ports on her gauntlets. So for this, I'm turning to this Steady brand panel liner. Now this is kind of cool. It's a fluorescent green, so it glows crazy bright under UV light. but it's an acrylic panel liner. Most of the panel liners that we're used to are enamel or oil products. Since this is acrylic, it will actually clean up with water. And it's very slow drying. This thing has a crazy working time. And it also has a built-in applicator brush, just like you would expect from like the Tamiya panel liner products. So we're just going to drop this into all of those exhaust ports. And if we get any spills, again, we can just clean it up with a little water on your paintbrush. All right, so now it's time to give our alcoholic pyromaniac teddy bear, Koshka, a little bit of love. So we're going to do a wet blend effect on the flames and the smoke coming out of his Molotov cocktail that he has lit in his hand. So to set this up, we're going to get all of the colors that we need situated on our wet palette. So first up, we've got Pink Flesh, then we've got Spectral Blue, and then next up, we've got Necromancer Purple, and then we've got Magenta, and then we've got Demon Purple. And now for those last three colors, we're going to mix in a little bit of glaze and wash medium to help thin those out and extend how long it takes for those to dry, because those are going to be the colors that we need to work with them and blend them a little bit longer, so we can't have them drying out on us right away. Now, all we're going to do is take the Mini and very quickly start applying the colors where they need to go. And then where two colors meet, we're just going to rub them together while they're still wet. Now, the important part of this is, one, the colors that we have chosen. So we have that blue and we have that pink on the far left. When you mix those in various quantities, you get various shades of purple and magenta. So our first two colors are actually components of all of the other colors. So when you start to blend them together while they're wet, you're actually creating transition tones that make sense. The big two keys here are to, use that glaze medium to extend that working time. And then while things are still wet, just mush them together and overlap them. And once it dries, you'll have a really nice, smooth blend. All right, so the miniatures are just about done. I've gone ahead and matte coated all of the miniatures with Rust-Oleum Matte Clear. And as you can see, I've got some basing grit down on here as well. So what we're going to do is use a little bit of weathering pigment to finish off the bases. Now, I've got Green Earth here from Secret Weapon Miniatures. Unfortunately, this company is defunct, but it's sort of like an ochre kind of brown color that you can find from lots of hobby manufacturers like Ammo and AK. And all we're going to do is just kind of dab this over that basing grit. And then after we've got the pigment applied, we can use some pigment fixer. So here I've got the Abtalung 502 variant, but again, most companies that supply these weathering pigments will have a fixer. You can use whatever you like, and even in a pinch, you can use mineral spirits as well. And you just need a couple of drops. Just use the pipette, put a drop down, and let it spread out. And then once it's done spreading, you can go ahead and put another drop in another area. You don't want to flood it. You just want it to get a little bit damp on that surface. And then just let that dry, and that pigment will be locked in place while still retaining most of that dusty appearance. Some of it will fade, which is the downside of fixing it in place, but it'll still appear dusty and give you that look. that we're going for, like a war-torn battlefield, but you don't have to worry about getting the pigment all over the place. Right, and the last thing we're going to do is actually going to be a little bit of an experiment. So I've got this, it's actually nail polish from Miracle Gel. It's this unicorn top coat. So it's sort of a clear pearlescent paint that has very, very finely ground glitter and this sort of like green and purple pearlescence. And I wanted to add a little bit of whimsy into the force since we did go with a lot of military colors. But it is, it's supposed to be a team of magical girls with their little magical friend here. So we're going to apply this over the smoke effect just to kind of add some glitter and a little bit of whimsy into the scheme. And I've done this before with other miniatures for like magic effects, but I've never tried this particular top coat before. So we'll see how this turns out after the break. All right, so here are the finished miniatures. And first up, we have our magical girl herself, Toska. So instead of doing still photography for this, I wanted to show off the shimmering effect that the unicorn top coat gave us. So I put it on her cloak as well as on the smoke cloud from Koshka. And wherever the light is directly hitting the areas that were covered, you kind of get that like greeny gold sort of shimmer. And then anywhere else that's not getting direct light, you get the underlying color showing through, which is really, really awesome. I'm actually really happy with how this turned out. And by the way, that unicorn polish is very, very glossy when it dries. So I did hit these with a matte coat afterwards, and you're still getting that nice shimmer effect underneath direct light. But aside from those two, we've also got all four of our sisters. Give you a quick showcase of those. And I'm actually really, really jazzed with how everything turned out. It was a pretty quick, easy project. You figure when I started this, I was actually sick with COVID. So the first 4 hours that I spent painting these guys, I was actually hacking up a lung and sneezing. And then once I got better and I finished the video, it was maybe only an extra 2 hours worth of work, including all of the filming. So that's it for this video today, guys. I hope you found a new game if you haven't heard of this before. If you are already a Magical Girl Assault fan, hopefully you enjoyed the painting video. Next up, we're going to be painting something for Oasis. So the Oasis Game Found campaign is going to be launching next week, according to all of the news that we had in the Discord. So I will be doing a painting video of this Titan that I'm using as a point of interest for the game. So be on the lookout for that next week. And until then, I'll catch you all in the next video.